very good morning to you, our dear viewer, listener, and follower. Thank you so much for joining us this morning for the 16th session of the Citizen Baraza, where we bring you government leaders, heads of government programs and projects, to tell you about what is happening in government. My name is Duncan Abigaba, and this morning we are discussing the reopening of the economy. On Monday, the 24th of January 2022, Ugandans returned to life, I should say. The economy fully reopened for the first time in 2 years after a suffocating nationwide curfew imposed to curb the spread of COVID-19. However, the reopening has come with some adjustments. The Ministry of Security is developing measures to manage, streamline, and regionalize the Boda Boda industry. So with us this morning, to break down for us the reopening of the economy is Mr. Hussein, the resident city commissioner for Kampala City, and he's also the chairperson of the Kampala City Security Committee. Bwana RCC, you're most welcome.
Thank you, my brother.
So, how is the situation since the reopening? We are, I think, now 4 days into the reopening of the economy. Have you had any major incidents at security, or you're on top of the situation?
Thank you very much, Comrade Duncan. Good morning, viewers, listeners. Happy New Year once again. Happy 36th NRM anniversary. You know, I don't remember when we first had Twitter in this country in 1986. I don't know how many of us were on Twitter, but these are some of when we talk about them, some people feel jealous, but these are achievements. So happy NRM anniversary. Kampala, yes, the economy has been opened, and security is on top of the game. We have not had any serious incidents, except what many of you know happened on the northern bypass near Karaire, but that situation has also been contained. We have had people deployed there, and we are good to go as a city. We have now people who enjoy doing things in the dark at night, now celebrating. You know, in the dark, there are so many things that happen. People eat all sorts of things. Some go for prayers. Those who believe that at night is when you have sex, they also leave their homes to go and have sex in the dark, go clubbing, and go to the bars. Now that is a bit worrying, because as a city, it is normally easy to contain such situations when you're in the lockdown. But now the children of the dark are out. Anybody will move to anywhere, anytime. They will look for you, they will look for me. So we just need to be very careful as a country, as a capital city, that those who could not move can now move. And security is aware of this. We have put in place a number of preventive measures, and I can assure you that Ugandans are now secure, and we shall manage.
Since the reopening, you've not had any alarm calls of maybe bomb scare? You know, when we are finishing 2021, we had those situations of CPS, Parliamentary Avenue. No bar has called
not yet.
Suspicious material, whatever.
Not at all. As you are aware, the Komamboga incident and what happened at Parliament and police stations was really a tricky situation for the country. And we upped the game. We noticed that there are areas that are likely to be a security threat in the city, especially downtown. which is very, very congested then. So as a security committee of the city, we made proposals to KCCA. We told them that the congestion downtown or in the central business district is a security threat that we must deal with. And here we are. At least that has been addressed. The bars we've not had any incidents actually. We are in touch with most of our informers. We have teams, intelligentsia sent all over the city and everything. So far so good. Ugandans, Kampalians, you can go about your work freely, no issues. The year has started well. You can see people are celebrating every part of the city now, and I can say we are good to go. Just be very responsible, be very security conscious. You cannot, where there are security issues, be in touch with the DPCs, the informers, the DSOs, and all. Don't just have your contacts of which doctors and maybe your girlfriends. Have a contact of a DPC, of a DSO, of an LC1 chairperson, such that you make life easy and you make work easy for the security agencies to be able to secure you. Yes, Ndogo.
So let's talk about the vendors. I am so happy with the new look of Kampala. I have never imagined actually all this time I've lived in Kampala that it can be as clear and clean as it is today. But the vendors issue has been received with mixed reactions. Some people are not happy. They think vendors didn't get justice. I appreciate the way Kampala looks now, and there is a big constituency of us who think Kampala is in a better shape right now with vendors cleared. But people are asking, where did you put the vendors?
Well, first of all, I want to thank the vendors for the cooperation. If the vendors were not cooperative, maybe we would not be celebrating. But I want to thank them. They have been very cooperative, and many of them have started relocation. They are going to Safi. Comrade, this government has constructed markets. We have the Usafi market, we have Nakasero market, we have Wandegeya or Wino market, now the Busega market, plus many other markets. We have over 20 government markets in this capital city, and all these markets are for the people. So when we get somebody loitering around the city, we have to remind them where they belong. They belong to the markets. Now, it is also important to know that relocating the vendors is based on the concept of Ubuntu. Because someone will want to ask you, why should they be relocated? It's like you finding vendors vending your premises here and you find them in the parking. And you try to ask them to leave and someone says, but where are you taking them? Are they supposed to be in the parking? If I want to shop anything, I go to Nakasero, I go to Usafi, we go to supermarkets, we go to Owino. That's where vendors are supposed to be. So we cannot allow, as a country and as a capital city, people to do whatever they want to do. There must be order. The Kampala Capital City Authority Act, under Section 19, provides that the executive director shall promote trade order in the city. And that's why I had to write to the ED that, look, we have this challenge and we have to sit, and I want to thank her very much. She was very receptive. She convened a meeting with her team. We looked for police, we went to Naguru, we engaged with the director of operations of Uganda Police. We have done this together with the ED and her team. The deputy ED, all of them have been very cooperative, and I thank them very much. So therefore, the ED is mandated to promote trade order. We should never allow disorder downtown. Otherwise, criminals will take charge of the center there. You will not be able to move comfortably. Today, I can see people riding their bicycles down there. People are freely moving. There are very few incidents of snatching of phones, snatching of handbags from women. Even SOPs, we can be able to observe them, because you can, previously, you would not find your way. You want to pass, you are just squeezing through. Someone has a shop, there are people who are laying mats and putting merchandise before somebody's shop. Somebody who has paid tax, someone who has paid rent, and all that's really, it's not something that we can be proud of as a country. And as the face of the country, Kampala deserves better. So the vendors are slowly relocating to the markets. Yes.
This is your legacy, I should say.
Well, that's what most people are saying, and I should say this is something that I can be proud of. Because it's, I'm told some people are said to have engaged the former ED Jennifer Musia, and she said, if Hudu succeeds in relocating vendors, I'll give him 600 million. Oh. I wish I could do, I wish I could reach her to tell her that really it has happened.
Do you want to hire me as your...
please go ahead.
You know.
So that we divide that money.
I'll have a percentage. As your collector, debt collector.
We shall discuss when you bring the money. But really, we are very humbled as the security of Kampala that the vendors have cooperated. And Ugandans are happy. People are really appreciating. And I think this is how Kampala should be. But even the vendors who have been relocated, we are going to see how to get them alternative means of survival. If you feel you don't want to go to the market, then don't go downtown. We shall sit down, and we have programs like Myoga. The parish model is on its way. We have the youth livelihood program. There are a number of government programs that we believe that some of these vendors can benefit.
That's so good. So you plan to help them tap into the Women Empowerment Fund, the Youth Livelihood Program, Myoga, and so forth.
Yes, and you see all these programs my brother have put in place for the people. When you hear some politicians pretending to like the vendors so much, one wonders what they have done for the vendors. For the time they have been around, what have those politicians done for the vendors? It is the president who has put in place programs to help the poor people. When the market vendors were being overtaxed, it is the president who came up with the directive. The politicians in Kampala here did not bother. They only come up in a reactionary manner. You're taking away the vendors, but what have you done for them? So we are not going to allow, first of all, police to live downtown. We are going to be there until the vendors give up vending on the streets of Kampala.
Interesting. So you know it is not Hudu's problem. It is our problem. And this has been a multi-agency operation. KCCA is on board, Office of the RCC, that is Office of the President, the ministers for Kampala, and then Uganda Police. So it has been a multi-agency operation to clean and clear our streets, and we thank you so much. So, Bwana RCC, the streets are clear of vendors now, but they are full of beggars. The problem of street kids has come up again. Everywhere you turn now, even here where we are seated just outside, there are street kids begging. Any plans for this?
Now, it's good you're raising this question, because anybody who complains about the relocation of vendors but would want street kids to be removed off the streets is merely being selfish, because it's the same thing. The street children should not be on the streets. Of course, we have a challenge as a country, issues of broken families, joblessness, and its associated challenges is what is bringing about the issue of street children. We have slums all over Kampala. We have so many slums in Kawempe, Katanga area, the Waise, the Makerere Chikumi Chikoni area, these are areas where low-income earners are trying to survive. And because they don't have clear sources of livelihood, many of the children, parents come on the streets. A parent comes with a child to beg. So what we are trying to do is to develop programs targeting the slums of Kampala. Because if you remove the street children without addressing the challenge in the slums, you are wasting time. We have had situations where some organizations have picked some street children, but that is not enough, because at the end of the day, next week they will come up because they are coming from the slums. Mm-hmm. As long as you don't have a clear program for the slums, you are not doing anything. So as 𝐄𝐎𝐍𝐶𝐴, again, the ghetto program is going to help. Our usual programs of a 𝐑𝐄𝐎𝐍𝐼𝐍𝐆, parish model, parish development model, among others, the Youth Livelihood, Uganda Women Empowerment Program, the CDD Fund, Community Demand-Driven Program. These are all intended to help such people. But we also need to ask the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development what they are doing on this issue. And maybe you may need to get in touch with them, because this falls directly under the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development. For us as 𝐄𝐎𝐶, we shall try to engage them and see how we can handle it. But definitely, the street children must leave the streets, the roads of Kampala, and we are going to start on that.
Interesting. So, the Boda Boda industry now, for the 18th time, the Ministry of Security under General 𝐄𝐎𝐍𝐻𝐍𝐆, and of course with your office and 𝐄𝐎𝐶A, they are trying to re-register, I think, and reorganize the Boda Boda industry and so forth. And you know, this has become stale, because it has been done now and again without any success. What are the plans for the Boda Bodas?
Now, the Boda Boda industry is one of those booming industries in the country, and so many, unfortunately, some policymakers, without mentioning name, have really found it very profitable and are contributing to the problem. They are buying motorcycles and registering companies, and I think that's where we should start from. People who are owning these companies. As a country, I believe if we are to successfully handle the question of Boda Boda in the city, we must deal with the issue of importation of these motorcycles in the country. As long as we allow many of them to come in, we are wasting time. So it is a policy issue, and we have included in our monthly security briefs, and I may have recommended, if possible, we should reduce on the number of motorcycles that come in the country, or if possible, stop it. Of course, stopping it would be a bit problematic, because if you are stopping something, there must be an alternative. We are yet to fully address the issue of transport in the country. The issue of buses is yet to fully kick off, but very soon there are companies that have been looked at, and there are plans to ensure that buses come in. And once buses come in, it will make good sense to completely do away with Boda Bodas. But for now, whether the buses have come or not, we should not, as a country, as a city, we should not be allowing Boda Bodas in the central business district. So is
it true you want to lock them out of the CBD?
That is obvious. That is obvious, really. And I cannot pretend about this. And this is not in Kampala alone. It is happening elsewhere. Do we have Boda Bodas in the CBD of Nairobi?
Not at all.
Even in Rwanda here. So what is wrong with us Ugandans? What is wrong with us as a country? Why should we deserve better, really. My target, after addressing the issue of street vendors and hawkers, my next step is illegal stages, illegal taxi stages. There are taxi stages all over. You come out, you find a taxi stage there.
Absolutely.
That is wrong. We should not, and it's contributing to jam downtown. Much as we have addressed the street vendors issues, as long as you have stages everywhere, you are wasting time. So my next step are the illegal stages. Any ungazetted taxi stage in Kampala, in the next 1 month, we are not going to allow it. And once we finish the issue of illegal stages, we are going on the issue of Boda Bodas. It's going to be our third issue. And we want to, you can go to 𝐄𝐿𝐍𝐈𝐍𝐆, you can go to that on the outskirts, but here at the center, really, Boda Bodas, they are facilitating a lot of illegal activities. My brother, within 10 minutes, someone will be in Nigeria by use of a Boda Boda. That is dangerous. And no. So I want to assure you that we are going to stop this. Those who have companies, feel free to allow them operate outside the central business district. But in the center here, we are not going to allow, and it must stop. I don't know why you're laughing, but Kampala is the face of Uganda.
I hope Madam packs for you food from home, because my brother, you're creating so many enemy lines. But if you're listening to us on Twitter, you'll have an opportunity to ask your question just after 30 seconds. But before I let the RCC off my hook, Tondeka buses, I've seen a rumor that they are coming this year. Do you have an idea?
Tondeka buses, yes. I've not yet confirmed, but there are companies that have been engaging with the leadership, and I'm yet to establish whether they have been granted permission. So I cannot authoritatively give you an answer, but it's possible because this has been long overdue. Engagements have been ongoing for over 5 years. And the earlier they come, the better. It will help us to, buses are easy to regulate. They have clear, you will not find a bus in an illegal stage. They have gazetted stages. And you see they carry so many people compared to taxis. They will not stop anywhere. A taxi driver will stop even in the middle of a road. Yeah. The buses can't do such a thing. So the earlier the better for us, and we are excited. We can't wait to have buses. It will help us reduce on the taxi issues. It will help us address the issue of Boda Bodas in the city.
My last question. Insecurity on our roads, especially the northern bypass. There have been a few attacks there, serious attacks on travelers. How are you addressing this?
We have engaged the 𝐄𝐎𝐍𝐈𝐍𝐆 again on the issue of street lighting, on the issue of CCTV cameras, and also we have talked to the leadership of police to ensure that there are enough police booths within a short radius. Because once you have at least police posts, a number of them along the northern bypass, it will help. Some of these criminals are taking advantage of absence of police. So the issue is regular patrols, getting police posts, a number of them, on the northern bypass, the issue of lighting, and the CCTV cameras. Once those are addressed, we shall be good to go. And the 𝐄𝐎𝐍𝐶 has already started on that. 𝐄𝐎𝐶 is in touch with UNRA, the Uganda National Roads Authority, because these contractors who constructed these roads are supposed to have put the cameras, are supposed to have put enough lighting. You get it? So that is theirs. But ours, as security, is to ensure that there are enough police posts, and also the patrols are regular. And that has already started. That's why you are no longer hearing about any such incidents again.
Thank you so much, Mr. RCC.
Thank you, my brother.
Listeners and our viewers, we are still with the resident city commissioner for the capital city of Uganda. This is not your ordinary RDC. And he's also the chairperson of the security committee of Kampala City. We are coming back in the second segment after this short break to give you an opportunity to ask your question or make your comment My name is Duncan Abigaba. I shall see you shortly.